It's time for Advice Line. Call now at 800-866-8883. That's 800-866-8883. Here's your host, Roy Masters.
Oh, good evening, everyone. I do hope you enjoyed the program the night before last. And you can go to, that particular program on Russian espionage and the takeover of the United States, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It is a video, and what you heard of it the night before last was, or of course, audio, because we have radio. And I encourage every person who is listening to me tonight, and maybe tonight isn't tonight because our program is played at different times of days and nights and years sometimes, but to go to my website and click on that. And Paul, would you put up the name of that thing we have to click on for everybody to get to hear that interview with the KBG defector? It is a must listen to everybody, because you can see what's happening to the FBI, the IRS, the NSA, and go ABC, DFG, and all the rest of them. I mean, all the heads is all lying scum. And the biggest scum of all is, well, I don't want to tell you who that is. He's the chief cook and bottle washer. And all protecting him. They're sacrificing their lives for him to keep their communist agenda alive. So here we are. And I'm going to do a program now. I'm going to forget all that. I don't think I'll get any thanks for that. I had a person just give me an email message, and I don't want to lose it. And I want to read it to you. Dear Mr. Masters, thank you for speaking with me on your show last night. I just finished watching the Soviet subversion video and wanted to comment. Ideologically naive is the term I understand when I look back on my life. I'm 49 and see finally just how hoodwinked I was for many years. It's painful. It began in elementary school, through college, and then as a public school teacher myself. I only lasted 3 years. I became a brainwasher. For years, I've been told myself that I had done the right thing. But I must admit, I was regurgitating the lies that had been fed, all the while knowing very uncomfortably, by the way, that I was on the wrong track. Thank God for always kicking my butt, even when it meant some really awful experiences. One point I wanted to make was the desire to be liked, to be popular, plays a huge role in all of this. At least my personal experiences, I cannot think of a time, especially as a child, that this wasn't emphasized. I found it interesting, chilling, that Facebook uses the term "like us." To be liked and to be like, most people think is harmless. It is not. And in case you haven't noticed, I don't care whether you like me or not. And I'm not in the business of liking you so you can like me. That's thieves and robbers. Loving thieves and robbers, what profit is there in that, said Jesus, and with good reason. To like those who love you is just like, well, you're like two lovers swapping spit. That's about it. But it gets worse than that. It just merely isn't swapping spit. What it is, it's swapping identities. We could do a real nice program on that, Yeah, the love of a man for a woman. I'm not going to talk about this tonight unless you want to call, but this is a nice little opening anyway. Just to sweeten the pot and just get you interested, hopefully without driving you away and driving you cuckoo, because the truth will drive you crazy or drive you saying one of the truth. But anyway, when just a man loving a woman in what they think of as love. Just let me just reiterate, swapping spit is what it is. Swapping excitements and swapping identities. If you're not careful, and most people don't know how to be careful, they could think all this loving and being loved and liking and being liked is really groovy. But what it really is just the man is becoming a woman, and the woman is becoming mannish. That's why there's no men anymore. Now, how could I say such a thing as that? That we do not know how to love each other. Romance is a huge deceit, thousands of years old. That's what makes the world go round, but it also makes it go down. I'm Roy Masters. We'll be right back. I'll talk about anything you want. But I'll just start off on my very own, the only, and I'll be right back.
Call Roy at 800-866-8883 between the hours of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. West Coast time.
The foundation of human understanding teaches an observation exercise, often called meditation, which permits you to become objective toward your problems and allows your heartaches, bad habits, fears, and anxieties to be completely eliminated from your life without effort on your part. Until you have begun to practice this exercise, much of what you see and hear on the following program may be shocking and upsetting to you. But if you will listen calmly and with an open mind, you may discover the key to the peace of mind and joy for which you've been searching all of your life. And now, from the foundation of human understanding, here is Roy Masters.
Oh, good evening. The other night, night before last, David did a program last night. I hope you enjoyed that. He's pretty good, I have to admit. I have to teach him a few tricks. Not tricks, magic. That's what I have to share with you, some kind of magic. It's called, actually, faith. Faith has magic to it. And if you want me to talk about the subject of the magic of faith, I will, but I need to talk to a person who wants to know what faith is and how it works. I know a little bit how it works, but I'm not the magician. I just want to say this for what it's worth, Department. I'm not the magician. I'm just the performer, the agent through which the magic comes. So, the magic of healing, the magic of helping people to go through a transformation, the renewing of the mind from within, that is not me. It wasn't Moses that opened the Red Seas. He was the agent through which the force came. And so I do things like that now. I've been given that gift in my later years. So I'm going to be talking about some things that get in the way of you having faith. And one of them is, when I opened the program, is you falling in love. It doesn't work. Because it's the use of the term falling in love. It kind of gives away, if you would just examine the word, the series of words, the phrase, I suppose. The falling in love is exactly what it really is. It's falling from what love is all about. Falling in love is falling from true love. You cannot love somebody in a godly way if you love to be loved. In my opening salvo, as a matter of fact, I'm looking at my iPod. I love this little thing, and so I can read it. My computers are too far away. Computer screens. I have to read this to you because it has something to do with all the things I want to say this evening. It's a hodgepodge of stuff, but I'll get through it. Just a minute. He said, "Dear Mr. Masters, thank you for speaking me on your show last night. I have been just finishing watching the Soviet subversion video. I wanted to comment. Ideological naive is a term I understand. When I look back on my life, I'm 49, I see finally how hoodwinked I was for so many years, it's painful. It began in elementary school, through college, and then as a public teacher myself. I only lasted 3 years. I became a brainwasher. For years, I told myself that I was/had done the right thing. But I must admit that I was regurgitating the lies that had been fed, all the while knowing, very uncomfortably, that I was on the wrong track. I thank God for always kicking my butt, even when that meant something really awful experiences. The point I wanted to make was that the desire to be liked and to be popular plays a huge role in all of this. At least in my personal experience, I cannot think of a time, especially as a child, when this wasn't emphasized. I find it interesting, chilling, that Facebook uses the term like us. To be liked and to be like, most people think is harmless. Once again, thank you for everything you do. I don't feel alone. How many times have I discussed this kind of thing before with you? And probably you probably went over your head. So he's talking about being brainwashed and then being a brainwasher. But it's nice to know that a brainwashed person and a brainwasher, passing it on, didn't feel right about being right. And that brought him to his knees. Sooner or later, the love of other people and the being loved by other people becomes a very dangerous addiction. And if all of you are involved with this, you can form a chain of command where the guilt of all this has to be assuaged by a leader. We don't want to be like the Borg, like, how can I say it? What one thinks, all thinks. To be liked, to be loved, and be loved, to love and be loved, is a farce. And if anybody would like to pick up the phone and say, what do you mean by that? I say, I'm trying to challenge. I'm looking at the world and I see it going round and round and down and your country disappearing. And I'm sounding so obtuse and so different from everybody else, so un-American. No, I'm an American. I'm one of the people in a nation under God, what's left of it. And I understand in order to love you, to love my wife, I have to love what's right in my heart more than I love her. Come on. See, you're going to say, you're crazy. Well, whatever loving God is, it's me and him. I'm into him, he's into me. You know what, you use colloquial terms like that. What are you into lately? I don't want to get into me. I don't myself lately. Well, who the hell are you? But there's a scripture in the Bible where it says, look, Jesus is praying. He says, you know, I am in you, O Father, and you are in me. And you in me, and I'm in my disciples, and they're in me, and I'm in you, and you in me, and it went on like that for a few paragraphs. And it's sort of confusing, but it's not. If you have a clear vision, an understanding of that, what does it mean that I am in you, and you are in me, and I'm in my disciples, and my disciples are in me, as you are in me, Lord? Goes up and down the scale. It's a divine order. Seek first the kingdom of heaven, the purpose of life, him, and all other things shall be added. No, because of the gulf, because of the separation of that, the loving and being loved, the liking and being liked, the thieves and robbers love thieves and robbers, is exactly why you're dying. And you glorify. Listen, all cultures glorify it. All cultures glorify the loving and being loved. The thieves and robbers and falling in love means falling from what love is all about. Now, have I said enough? Here's the number. I want someone to say, what the hell are you talking about? But you won't do that. Because if you call me and you pull on me for more than what I just said, it could be very, very disturbing. But in a good way. I would like to disturb you in a good way. I want to disabuse you, like the letter the email this gentleman sent me, who was once a brainwashed person and became a brainwasher, a teacher. And he came out of it. And he thanked God for that. So here's the phone number, 800-866-8883. Is the one person will challenge me on this. Now, let me try this. 800-866-8883 is the one person who would like to know more about this. So that what is love? What do you mean by? See, I can ask my own questions. It's like, you're like dead people. I find that Americans are mostly dead. Jesus used that term in his day, concerning the great majority of people, which America is a great majority of people, and most of you are dead from the neck up. But, pardon the vernacular, but the more you are dead from the neck up, the more you are liable to be more alive from the waist down, if you know what I mean. You see. In other words, you got a hard on all the time. Sorry to put it that way. It's all you can think of is more sex, more sex, more sex, more sex, and more sex. And then when you get guilty of having more sex and more sex, because you become a pervert. Yeah, that's what you become. It's called lust. It's not love. What you have, loving and being loved, is equivalent to the drug pusher and the addict. So let's say the lady's the pusher and you're the pushover. So she gives you pleasure and you become addicted to it. And you think that your need for more pleasure is love. And for a little while, you both can be fooled. And then all of a sudden, usually the young lady begins to feel like she's being used. And she is. And she quits. Or she tries to, and there's a big fight. I married you for this. No, I bought you a nice car. I love you. Here's some flowers. You don't want me to go down that line, do you? But anyway, let me change the subject because this is too advanced for you. Let me try something else. Let me see. Well, let me see how I can rephrase and restart my program again. Let me give it the phone number again and hope that someone had moved somebody out there that suddenly realized, oh my God, what have I done with my life? I'm divorced. I fell in love and fell from what love is all about, and I got divorced and I never got divorced again, and my kids don't know their father anymore, and I got my nervous breakdown from, it's a whole story, the whole Kashmir. But I would like to stay on it, but I want to go back a little bit to the brainwashing piece. So let me see. I want to tell you a story. It begins with my wife telling me this the other night, about a week ago, that she kind of woke up and understood why she couldn't understand me. Or for 60 years I've been married to her. She has the kind of love that women love with, but that doesn't, I'm immune to that. Now, it's pretty awful for a man to be immune to a woman's love, because I don't return that kind of love. I don't respond to, if you love me, I should love you back. Because that is a very soft seduction. Now, I'm not saying my wife, or any woman, really understands that's true. But to use your power, your attractiveness, to love, and to get someone to love you. Now, if I was the devil, I would use anything to get you to love me. And when you love me, you wouldn't be able to get free. Because there's only two ways it can go. You love God, or you love how can I say it? Whatever seduces you is the agent of the other side of the force. You see that? So you don't want to use a woman. A gentleman, you should not use a woman. Look at a woman as a fulfillment of love. And you don't want to play the game of liking and being liked. It's the same thing. If the sense of worth, I always say the sense of worthless worth, is dependent upon being liked so that you do nice things for people to like you, then surely you are a slave of a sense of worth that's worthless. Anybody else would like to discuss with me anything this? Look, I tell you what I want to do. I like doing this program, but I don't like doing it on my own. I don't hate it. I just don't like it. You see, I like ice cream, but I don't love it. Or I dislike this or that, but don't hate it. So I do not like doing a program where people are dead from the neck up. And I just want to mention what I forgot to say about that subject, about you being dead from the neck up and alive from the waist down, if you know what I mean. Jesus was asked, one of his disciples said, I want to go and bury my father. And he says to them, let the dead bury the dead. What the heaven did he mean by that? I mean, I'm sure everybody really understood what he said. He made himself very plain in all of his, Sunday morning seminars or whatever on the side of a hill. But it seems like it never got down to the rank and file of Christianity. I'm a Jewish man, love Jesus, don't care for Christians. Not all, because some of you are good. But most of you, the reason why the country's in the mess is because Christians are in the business. They shouldn't be. Real Christians, you'll understand me and you'll forgive me, because Christians give Jesus a bad name. Yeah. So, but it's all about being liked, and love is for Christians, as you are taught that to love is to just to go along and to get along. We all need to get along with each other, and therefore the love of people is to go along with them. I say to you that if you go along to get along, you are creating a bully. Sooner or later, a bully will come, and they will bully you, and you will think to yourself, well, I have to love him. And therefore, you go along with him, yield to him, be patient with him as well as the patient that you know. But the point is that sooner or later, you will find yourself in hell, personally, with that person. Collectively, if the idea of love in Christianity is what is to be liked, to love, and to be loved back, or to be liked, in other words, to be liked. In order to be liked, you have to like someone, and they have to feel that you like them or love them, and then they either respond with love or more cruelty, because you don't realize there's people who know how to play the game, and they recognize your weakness, and at first they will accept you, and then give you a good feeling. And when they give you that good feeling, you think, wow, he's getting better. See, I'm having a nice effect. God is working through me, and I'm having a nice effect on this person. And all of a sudden, he does something really mean, and just when you thought it was working, that's what he wanted you to think, see. And all of a sudden, you get upset. And if you still get upset, you begin to feel resentful towards that person, and then you feel guilty for secretly hating him. That's not right. So that resentment turns into guilt, and then now you need more of his love, because you've fallen away. The resentment did it. It's the aftershock. The love at first bite works like that. And all of a sudden, that person shows his other side, like when you get married. What happened to Mary? What happened to Joe? I thought he was a nice person. All of a sudden, he's a monster, and she's a witch. It's all because we bring that out of each other. All because we don't know what love is. Not loving each other must be preceded. Well, proceeded. I always have trouble with that word. Please help me with my grammar. But anyway, it must come before. So the love of God, whatever that is saving grace. The love of God, it frees you from loving and being loved. It frees you from loving and then expecting someone to love you back. So if I love you tonight, I have to love you freely. So whether you support my program or you pick up the phone and dial 800-866-8883, Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 o'clock at night, that's my program. If I have to, the chances are I won't do a whole program tonight. Well, I'm speaking to you in depth. And there's something more I want to say after the break about how you can look at some of your thoughts and how you have come by certain words and ideas that are not true at all, that you lived a lie, and that you're born into a lying world. And in the last generations, the last 3 or 4 generations, teachers became liars. They were bred and became liars. And just like the teacher, I read his email just a little while. He said he wanted to be liked. He wanted the kids to love him and all the rest of it. And he knew it was something wrong with it all along, but he didn't know exactly what it was. And so he appreciated my take on. I'm giving another take on it this evening. I've spoken on this subject before, and he was writing to me about that kind of thing, and with reference to the subversion video on the homepage, which deals with some things along that line. But you have to understand that you are nearly every human being on earth. No, the Bible gets it right. Let me see. It says we are born into sin. It means we don't have a chance of a snowflake in hell. We are born into those who preceded us, who were born into those who preceded them, all the way back to Paradise Lost. Go figure it. It always starts with 2 people, even if you were prehistoric men. Starts with 2. Yeah. Let me stop for a minute here, ladies and gentlemen. My friends, the number is 800-866-8883. Call me Monday through Friday, 9 to 11 West Coast time. Thank you. And you actually can listen on my website. I think you can also go to my Roy Masters channel and listen to me. But anyway, is it Roy Masters channel, David? What is it? What's the other one? What is the other channel besides the YouTube? That's the one I was looking for. Yeah, I think you can hear me on YouTube. That's where you find me. So you don't have to come to my website in that sense. But I want to mention that I'm giving my last seminar. I'm 85 years old, but I'll do 6 hours a day with you. And you bring your problems to Tall Timber Ranch, 4th of July. Would you call my office and find out the details? It's 3 days. You can come for 1 day. That's if there was room now. 1 day or 2 days or 3 days. 800-877-3227, or go to the website, Foundation of Human Understanding, or FHU.com. Okay, we'll be right back.
Hi, this is David Masters with a special urgent message. If you're someone who is suffering with a difficult illness, or if you're in a relationship that really needs help, it's time to make reservations for Roy Masters' 4th of July seminar at Tall Timber Ranch in beautiful Oregon. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS, and make your reservations while there's still time. There's not a lot of room at Tall Timber Ranch, so if you want to have your life move in the direction it's meant to go, this is a time to make the change. This could be Roy Masters' last seminar. We hope not, but you will have time to spend with him, understanding and becoming free from the problems that have plagued you so long. It's the 4th of July seminar at Tall Timber Ranch with Roy Masters. Call 855-CURE-STRESS to make your reservations. Call Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Pacific Time. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. This could be Roy Masters' last seminar. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. Do you have stress? Well, here's some facts you should know. Stress has been linked to all the leading causes of death, such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, accidents, and suicide. Almost 90% of all visits to primary health care providers are due to stress-related problems. Are you ready to be free from stress? Call 855-CURE-STRESS or visit CureStressDevice.com.
It's one of those things that's helped me so much. I mean, I started as I was 31 years old, and I'm 69 now. And I've gone through so many trials and tribulations, on the verge of losing your soul to the many things that happened. And yet, has always been there to clarify things. And sometimes I'll be listening, a gem just shines through and it really clarifies things.
It's time to be free from the terrible effects of stress. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. Or go to CureStressDevice.com and order the Cure Stress Device. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. Or visit CureStressDevice.com.
Cruel people have power. Your life is in danger even from members of your own family who aggravate the life out of you until you feel like killing them and yourself. But don't fight these hateful hypocrites with resentment because they use that emotion to drive you crazy and bring out the worst in you. Cure Stress will help frustrate their intent. Go to CureStressDevice.com. That's CureStressDevice.com or call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. You won't be sorry.
For more information about Roy Masters and the Foundation of Human Understanding, call 1-800-877-3227 during regular business hours Monday through Friday Pacific Coast Time. That's 1-800-877-3227. And visit www.fhu.com. That's www.fhu.com. Or write to P.O. Box 1000, Grants Pass, Oregon 97528. That's P.O. Box 1000, Grants Pass, Oregon 97528. Do you have stress? Well, here's some facts you should know. Nearly 1/2 of all adults suffer adverse effects from stress. It is estimated that 1 million Americans miss work every day due to stress-related complaints. And what about workplace violence? It has been attributed to stress, but no longer. Call 855-CURE-STRESS or visit CureStressDevice.com.
I'm a teacher in Southern California. I had this big old drama at work, and I'm not resenting any of it anymore. I'm just okay. Everything's okay. You helped my family back in the 70s. My dad lived to 94, and had he been meditating as he was in the 70s, he probably would have lived to 104.
It's time to be free from the terrible effects of stress. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. Or go to CureStressDevice.com and order the Cure Stress Device. Call 855-CURE-STRESS or visit CureStressDevice.com.
You're listening to Advice Line with Roy Masters. Call Roy at 1-800-866-8883.
Well, I want to change the subject a little bit. I started to talk about an experience my wife had the other evening about what she discovered about her good memory. I have a bad memory, a very, very selective memory. And so I read a book like, I have a book in front of me, I'm flicking the pages, and I stop. And I scan the whole page in 10 seconds. I don't know what I'm looking for, but the word will stick out. I go through a whole book, and if something doesn't strike me in that book, I don't care the beginning and the end. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I know it when I see it. And it's those things that something within me reaches out and says, remember that. It's whatever's on a page, it will call to me. And I'll remember what that said. I will not forget it. I will put it in my brain somewhere. And I continue life. I'm walking down the street and I see a leaf fall. It has a certain behavior. Actually, I was thinking of one of those seeds that spin when they fall off the tree, like a propeller. And I remember that particular thing, walking down country lane one time. It was one of those things I don't remember all the others, because all the others lead all the things I'm looking for. But what I'm trying to say is that the teacher within me decides what I should remember. And it's not a teacher outside me who says, you have to remember this and believe that. And you have to remember this and play it back. Otherwise you're a failure. No, that's what makes you a failure, to do what the teacher says. I have to move at my own speed. Whatever it is, my own speed is different from your own speed. And so, at the end of a week or so, or a month, going on like that, sometimes going a whole day and not particularly seeing anything interesting, but just enjoying the flowers and in my relationships with people, and helping people as is my custom. All of a sudden, all of those words, those ideas, come together as one. Bang. Oh, I understand. Yes. Now, the teacher, what's doing that is the inner teacher. And if you allow yourself to follow the outer teacher randomly like that, in other words, if you're going to jump through hoops and study and to get a degree, you have to be outwardly motivated, outwardly conditioned. And that is progressive involvement. If you want to understand what progressive involvement is, it's small little temptations, giving up principles. So I couldn't learn in school. I have no degree. I've written some very profound science books, and I'm doing some experiments right now. And I'll let you know one of these days. But I've not learned. I've written these powerful books on philosophy, as well as hard physics, and I think they're afraid of me out there. And also think I've discovered things about psychiatry and psychology. I'm light years ahead of it. I'm light years ahead of them. I am, and it is well known. The military, the veterans, the American Legion have all taken my materials and given a nod of approval to them, etc., etc. There's so many things I can't tell you. I'm not going to do it right now. And go to the Drudge Report on my page, and you can read more about it. Go to Drudge Report and look for me there on Roy Masters. Or it's actually not so much Roy Masters, it's all about people snapping. A World Net Daily wrote an article, a huge article, on what I'm doing. And how I've helped so many people. Anyway, it is light years, means you can get better from post-traumatic stress disorder, for which there is no cure. You can just get a little CD and fix yourself in a few weeks, maybe a few minutes. That's it. Very simple. Because what it does is disentangle you from that process I just mentioned. See, because you are taught to disregard your own path, what you were born to be. You're taught, you're not encouraged to unfold like a flower from within. The whole system of teaching and learning is fraudulent for years and years, for thousands of years. And there's only a few people get through, and those are the ones that get through are the ones that give us advancement. If just the average Joe, and I don't mean that deleteriously, but the average person is brainwashed like that. And they become decent people, but they can't go anywhere. They've lost their entrepreneurialism about life, the journey. You rob the words, the verses, the chapters. It goes on to religion, verses, chapters. Act them out. Think you understand what love is, you don't. Think you know what faith is, you don't. I see nobody picking up the phone calling me. You're just muttering to yourself, aren't you? You're a bloody coward, basically. Or you're agreeing with me. I like that. I'd like you to question me and want to say, well, tell more about what I'm saying. But what I'm going to say to you now is go back to what my wife said the other day, and then I'm going to tell you a little story, and then we'll come back around about to the subject again of words versus something called understanding, natural born understanding, inborn in us. Listening to listening to words and understanding the meaning of words behind them. So I view love differently from you do. And my understanding of what love is perfect, and yours is not. Now, if you're an enlightened person, then you'll understand that we both have seen the same thing. We are thinking from an objective point of view, with the light shining through our crystalline consciousness, a clear consciousness, giving meaning to words and to things, and giving us to see into things that nobody else sees, because they're blunted with words and verses and chapters and studies and degrees and diplomas and achievements with those diplomas and degrees. Most people, who die have never lived, dying having never lived, and I'm hoping that I can wake you up and give you a chastising in a healthy way. And let me come back to my wife again. She said, the reason why I had a good memory, she has a fantastic memory. I have a lousy memory, a very selective memory. I can't get used to certain words. And I had it up on the screen just now, auto-debit and disability. I can't. If I want to get to that subject, I have to ask my producer, what was that word again? That's a discordant word. It doesn't make any sense, disability. How do we get disability? How do we become disabled like that? In a sense, mentally, it's always mentally. Disability is mostly crowded around that idea. We're mentally disabled. And we all are mentally disabled. Even the teachers are mentally disabled, but they are one step above. They're doing the teaching, so they don't think they're mentally disabled. They're getting paid to disable somebody. I get it. And you do get it. So that was the teacher I just mentioned. But I'll come back to my wife again. She said when she went to school, they taught her the look-see method, not the phonics. And so she had to remember every word. And she got a tremendous memory. She was very proud of it. But she had lost understanding. Because the teacher without became the dominating force. And her thinking, what she thought was her own ideas about love and marriage, was all wrong. Her ideas about everything was wrong. Like you, your ideas about everything. You may be a very good philosopher. You may have studied Plato and Socrates and all the rest of it, and be able to quote all the things, and you like him, but you've only got him in words. You haven't got him in spirit. Otherwise, you'd be Socrates. You'd be able to bring forth new. You'd be Socrates, the first scientist. They were Plato. They were the first scientists. And then because they unfolded from within. And we need more of that. And my job here is to try to awaken you from education, to step back from education and use what you've learned. There's a good thing about education. You can stand back and then suddenly understand what you've been taught. And then you can be creative. How so? So now I'm back with my wife again. She said that. She said, and so it only took her 60 years to see that her memory, being far superior to mine, didn't work for her. But whatever I had a smaller vocabulary, I could do more with it. If I needed new words, I'd find them. I actually invented a few words, like Skyberis of the bongo. When something is, messed up and ridiculous in science or psychology, and they give a name to a symptom without understanding its cause, which is the real reason, I call it Skyberis of the bongo. You might want to remember that one too. So now I want to just give you one more thing, and I see the lines beginning to light up. 800-866-8883. I'd like to have a second hour on questions on this subject, because you must be getting something. So what she said, it blunted my ability to hear what you were saying. So when I would speak to her in common sense, she would think to herself, what does he mean by that? And while I'm talking, she's thinking about what I'm meaning, so she didn't hear half the things I said. And she gets frustrated, and so on and so forth. Then we have an argument, blah, 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 blah. She's not able to see what she's doing wrong, because the same forces that educated her are inside, has made her think that what she's been taught is right. What about, in her case, my wife's case, about what love is? She had the foggiest idea what love is. I didn't fully understand it when I was first married, but I got caught on pretty quick, because I always have. I said, this is not love. See, the sex is not love. It's not. It could be done with love. You can eat. You can serve someone dinner with love. You can give somebody with money. You give money to a person with love, and not obligate them. See, that's it. Not want something back for it. No, there's no ties. There's no obligation, no pull. So, anyway, after the break, I'm going to finish my thought. I spent my whole evening trying to get you stimulated, in a manner of speaking, to catch on to something, saying, wow, I never thought of it that way before. I mean, that's what I'm trying to get you to see. So after the break, I'll finish off my story, and then the second hour, I'm going to take calls. And so I have already Todd on the line, so if Todd doesn't mind waiting till the top of the hour, and the lines should be filled, 800-877-3227. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is David Masters with a special urgent message. If you're someone who is suffering with a difficult illness, or if you're in a relationship that really needs help, it's time to make reservations for Roy Masters' 4th of July seminar at Tall Timber Ranch in beautiful Oregon. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS, and make your reservations while there's still time. There's not a lot of room at Tall Timber Ranch, so if you want to have your life move in the direction it's meant to go, this is a time to make the change. This could be Roy Masters' last seminar. We hope not, but you will have time to spend with him, understanding and becoming free from the problems that have plagued you so long. It's the 4th of July seminar at Tall Timber Ranch with Roy Masters. Call 855-CURE-STRESS to make your reservations. Call Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Pacific Time. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. This could be Roy Masters' last seminar. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. Do you have stress? Well, here's some facts you should know. Stress has been linked to all the leading causes of death, such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, accidents, and suicide. Almost 90% of all visits to primary health care providers are due to stress-related problems. Are you ready to be free from stress? Call 855-CURE-STRESS or visit CureStressDevice.com.
It's one of those things that's helped me so much. I mean, I started as I was 31 years old, and I'm 69 now. And I've gone through so many trials and tribulations, on the verge of losing your soul to the many things that happened. And then yet, there's always been there to clarify things. And sometimes I'll be listening, a gem just shines through and it really clarifies things.
It's time to be free from the terrible effects of stress. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. Or go to CureStressDevice.com and order the Cure Stress Device Call 855-CURE-STRESS or visit curestressdevice.com.
Cruel people have power. Your life is in danger even from members of your own family who aggravate the life out of you until you feel like killing them and yourself. But don't fight these hateful hypocrites with resentment because they use that emotion to drive you crazy and bring out the worst in you. Cure Stress will help frustrate their intent. Go to curestressdevice.com. That's curestressdevice.com or call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. You won't be sorry.
For more information about Roy Masters and the Foundation of Human Understanding, call 1-800-877-3227 during regular business hours Monday through Friday Pacific Coast Time. That's 1-800-877-3227. And visit www.fhu.com. That's www.fhu.com. Or write to P.O. Box 1000, Grants Pass, Oregon 97528. That's P.O. Box 1000, Grants Pass, Oregon 97528.
You're listening to Advice Line with Roy Masters. Call Roy at 1-800-866-8883.
Oh, hello. Welcome again to the program. I'm going to take my calls after the break at the top of the hour. Let me see how I can approach this subject of... Have you ever had an idea, like, have you ever thought of your favorite food, and then all of a sudden you find yourself wanting it, hunger for it? Have you ever suddenly have an idea in your head about sex, and then all of a sudden the idea created the greater impulse, as though it was a real thing? That's very dangerous, actually. Let me explain to you. Now, let me tell you my story. It's all about words and how they get in the way of understanding. I've told this story before, but it's worth telling again because it's got different context here. I'm at a swimming pool, and I remember exactly where this happened. Actually, I don't remember where it was. It's too long ago. But I only understand the dynamics of it. I'm a good swimmer. I was good at athletics and everything. But so I'll leave that to be as it is. And I remember I was spread eagle with my arms spread on the concrete, and my feet crossed as Jesus' feet were crossed. That's the pose. I think you're familiar with that. And I think it was that pose that brought this on. The Christ crucifixion. It happened a few things like that when I had that same pose. Things happened to me, but not. I won't go into those things now. Just this one. And all of a sudden, the word potato came to me. Where that came from, I don't know. We're sitting there, and with my arms spread out like that, and my legs crossed like that. So, and it said potato, 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 potato. I said, why am I thinking potato, potato, potato? And it took a while for me to really fully understand this, but suddenly a potato wasn't a potato anymore. In other words, it wasn't a potato in my mind. In other words, when you like food, let's just start from here. Let's say you love potatoes, you love ice cream, in a sense that you love it in the sense that it gives you a feeling of security. Food does that. Lots of things. Drugs give you a feeling of security. Alcohol gives you someone loving you, giving you a rousing a feeling. Well, what happens, though, when it only happens to you because you're earthy and that you're not intuitive yet. You are intuitive, but you're losing it. And as you lose it, there's emptiness. You can't have, for example, if you eat candy before your dinner, you won't be able to eat your dinner when it comes, which is better than candy. So that metaphor works the same way. He said, so therefore, if you have lost something in life, lost by pressure, by seduction, various seductions I've chronicled in all my radio programs, when you are separated from God, then the sense of worth comes from feelings. It automatically does. You defer to that when you get excited, upset. And then all of a sudden, you become a feeling creature. You're always looking to feel good, to feel important, to feel loved. And if you didn't have the feeling, you would work for it, and you become a slave. As I said in the opening part of the program, you become a slave of being loved, and you're become part of a problem. You're both in the same hell after a while, you see. So you need to start at the beginning of my program to get the gist of that. But the thing is, what happens is the excitement of anger separates you from the fulfillment of God. Bang. And you've transferred your life from natural intuitive words which were there at the very beginning when you were born. And the stresses of life have transferred you to people speaking to you and bringing you up with words. And making words and emotions the thing, as if that was being human. Not true. It does the opposite. And I hope I don't lose my trend of thought here. So what happens is, when you are violated and corrupted in a way that you don't know you're being corrupted in your learning to speak and going to school, and you have to go along, get along, and learn this and learn that, and become a word-oriented person, subject to the authority that gives you the words. Behind all the words that are put into your head are given to you by authority. So pretty soon, your intuitive self starts to fade away. And you have ideas and behaviors and beliefs that are half-truths or lies. That's when you become a communist country, or when you become a Jewish person, a Christian person, or a Muslim. Doesn't matter what it is. You weren't born that way. And then each conditioning fights against the other. So what's happening? So when your thoughts, when the thought comes to you, it becomes a thing, and it controls you. And once you want something, when you crave it and eat it, it becomes more pronounced. Okay, well, look, the subject, I couldn't finish it. And I'm trying to say, I've got 2 minutes, I've got a commercial break here. I'm trying to say in this commercial minute, you're going to go to listen to my second hour and ask me questions. I'm trying to say that the thought becomes the thing. So all of a sudden the hunger makes you think of a potato or whatever it is you like. And pretty soon that it becomes so real that it calls to you to eat it, to have it. Whereby you weren't so word conditioned, but intuitively conditioned, that word would awaken you to want something, whether it's potatoes or drugs. It's because those then continue the line of nurturing a kind of faith and a kind of love. It's called pleasure. That leads to pain. Anyway, the 4th of July seminars come. I only have time for this, sorry. I couldn't finish it off properly, isn't time. But another hour's coming up. 4th of July seminar, we still have some spaces, a few left. Would you call my office, 800-877-3227, and be sure you get a Cure Stress device before you come, and use it before you come, please, as a new listener. 4th of July seminar, 800-877-3227, and the website is fhu.com, Foundation of Human Understanding.
It's time for Advice Line. Call now at 800-866-8883. That's 800-866-8883. Here's your host, Roy Masters.
Yes, if I gave you a microphone, could you pontificate the way I did the last hour and say lots of things? And I do hope in this hour we'll have some questions with respect to the things I said in the last hour. That's assuming you're still there and you can still hear me. A lot of people can't hear me because they only get an hour. But the stations that get 2 hours at least is a good-sized audience, so we can continue our thoughts. Let me take our first call. I'm Roy Masters, 800-866-8883. We're going to take Todd, who's waited for 20 minutes. Go ahead, Todd. What can I do for you?
Hello, Roy.
Hello.
We met before. Remember you had made fun of my name?
Let me see. Well, Todd seems like a nice Todd.
I didn't like my name.
Unless Sweeney Todd.
I'm 47 years old, and I'm finally starting to. I've been familiar with you for I guess 12 years now or more. So I'm trying to fulfill my destiny, I guess you could say.
I hope we all should.
So I'd like to move up there to Grants Pass.
Well, just to move up there, just because you would like to, I was moved here by something I didn't understand. And it's a long story that I can't explain to you, but I moved here intuitively. I moved away. I have a nice house on the water. It doesn't mean to make me rich. I bought it very, very cheap. But anyway, a long time ago, and I paid it off a little at the time, and it's all paid off now. But so I had a boat in front and liked to fish. But I moved up here 30 years ago, at least, because I saw what was coming, and you see it now. It's here. It's not finished yet. And so I want you to move intuitively, and not because I'm here.
Yes. I understand what you mean.
I don't like a follower.
No, yes, I know what you're saying.
Because I am catch and release.
Right.
A fisher of men doesn't eat people. He catches and throws them back, teaches them a few things, and thrusts them back in the world again. I don't have a following like the church does.
Well, I don't live right in, in the big city. Outside, just kind of outside of.
But the question, though, I've answered. You have to be intuitive, and not a
right.
feeling.
Well, I think it is. There's kind of another thing. There's another thing that's held me back over the last years.
Your daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
So I haven't been.
How old is
last I haven't been contacting her.
How old is she?
16.
Oh, no, you can't leave your daughter. You can't leave her.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
No, you're not intuitive. No, you can't just go up and leave your daughter.
Because, it's kind of like a stepdaughter. But
but it's still your responsibility.
Right.
You took on that responsibility when you remarried.
Right, yeah.
So you have to wait for her to be more mature. There was a time when go ahead.
Well, I've tried the last 3 years, more and more than they kind of, her and her mom, they do their own thing.
Oh, is the mom there? Are you discombobulated with your wife or something?
Well, it was a girlfriend back in 12 years ago, and then I kind of took on the job of the father at that point, and then for quite a while I would spend a lot of time with her.
Yeah. Does she
and then
love
as
you?
she got older, then it was just kind of less and less, and now her mother spoils her quite a bit. They've been to Europe a couple times, and
so on whose money?
Well, on her mom's.
So
yeah, I don't have any extra, money like that.
You mean your wife has all the money, but you don't?
Well, it wasn't ever my wife, and
so you're not married to this lady?
No. it was. So
well,
the situation actually was
well,
right
then she
before,
isn't,
right when I discovered you. It was right when it ended. So we were together for 2 years, and the baby was...
I suppose that they seem to be. You're not really her father, and you're not married.
Right, and she knows that now, or she knew that for a while.
Oh well, then you got to. That's a different thing.
Right, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I haven't tried to pressure,
Yeah, but let's not drag this out. The answer. That's the answer. It's a different thing. No, you can do what you like with it.
Okay.
Okay. I'm very careful not to want to guide everybody, only to the truth, so you can be guided, not by me, but by what's in me. But I want you to find in you. Okay, we're back.
Call Roy at 800-866-8883 between the hours of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. West Coast time.
The foundation of human understanding teaches an observation exercise, often called meditation, which permits you to become objective toward your problems and allows your heartaches, bad habits, fears, and anxieties to be completely eliminated from your life without effort on your part. Until you have begun to practice this exercise, much of what you see and hear on the following program may be shocking and upsetting to you. But if you will listen calmly and with an open mind, you may discover the key to the peace of mind and joy for which you've been searching all of your life. And now, from the foundation of human understanding, here is Roy Masters.
Well, here I be. We got our first call in the second part of this program. We have our first part. We had a little nice discussion. Now we're going to continue with Jim in California. Hello, Jim. What can I do for you?
Hi, Roy. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. My question is, I had on my mind today, and it's a realization about realizing what happened, what you do in life, and then you're sorry for everything that you've done, and
that makes you a sorry person.
Yes.
It doesn't save you.
No, not salvation.
Yeah, I know, but we got to be careful how we with words.
Yeah. I want to be careful in my wording here on this. So it's not the salvation per se, like, "Woo, I'm saved." No, not born again turkey.
What is the question?
Basically, just when you're realizing and you're moving forward, is a reborn meaning changing, renewing your mind from within?
That's just what the Bible says. But you know what that means. But what are you asking me about that? I mean, is that a question?
Yeah, it's a question of if you renew your mind, is that basically, are you moving into the reborn part of it, or is it a
having a hard time with words.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying. You want to know what does it mean to be reborn? It really is. It is. I'm trying to find a metaphor, but I can't think of one right now. But it's to be reborn is to be. It is to have a new master.
Okay.
In other words, to have a new life source.
Ah.
A new life source, because the other one was
didn't work.
Yeah, the other one was devolutionary. We're born into the devolutionary system. Never mind how much science we have. That's come by gifted people, and most people aren't gifted. And even the gifted people do the right thing for the wrong reason.
Right.
I'll give you a good example of that. I hear that Glenn Beck has lost his voice. Right? Have you heard that?
No, I didn't.
Oh well, he has. This paralysis, and maybe I shouldn't take him to task, because I'll tell you what. I'll just back off of that. Because I've sent him something, and I hope he gets it. but he has lost his voice, and I know all the reasons for it. And there isn't a psychiatrist on earth could tell him what I'm going to say to, what he will learn if he uses the material I sent to him. But anyway, let me put that aside. Now, all I can tell you is this: is that the born in sin thing means that if you look at what it means, if you want to trace it back in religious terms, in religious parlance, because it says like this: through one man, sin, and death through sin. In other words, spread through the human race. Then it goes later, gives us hope. But through one man, all is healed, right?
Right.
The sin goes out of this world, in other words. So what's happening is that through one man sin, he said, say, Eve, put the fruit down. That's what God says. And she says, but I didn't die. God said I would die if we ate this fruit. Look at me, I didn't die. And he looks at it, and he doubts himself. Now, when he doubts himself, that is a transference of faith. He believes the woman who whatever the dark force was, and whatever the bright force is, one's God and one's the other. And we do not understand them, but we understand by them what right, for instance, on the right side of the force, I know what right and wrong is, and I can live that right force. I can live by that once I am saved. But before I'm saved, I inherit sin. I inherit a conditioning. And if you look at all the different countries of the world, all the different languages, all the different customs, every baby's born the same. If you take a baby from Borneo and take him away from the mother and put him in a university, that kid could be a physician.
Right.
We're all the same. It is the culture. Some cultures are utterly corrupt. There's no way to get out of to keep from being accountable if you're born there. The minute you have a little bright spark in you, they'll eat you.
I got it.
You
Yeah,
got it.
that's what.
So,
that's very interesting.
But culture owns you, and the only culture is the one that Adam fell from, which is a heavenly culture.
And that's what we got to look for. That's what.
The reason why we're born in sin is God had to make. If God was going to make Adam and Eve, if assuming that human beings are created differently from animals, that God created the universe and all the creatures in it in an evolutionary sense, and so let it take its course, what shape they will be. But humans made them different. In other words, he's giving free will, because in order to make a human being to love God, he has to give them, he must give them a chance to choose between him and what is evil. There is an evil, and the evil that predestined it existed before Adam. There's all about angels fighting in heaven. There's all those stories. But there's evil does exist, and evil has to exist in order to tempt, to make the choice possible. Adam, if God had made 1 billion Adams and Eves, they would all have fallen for the same trap, just like little children, because evil is clever. It precedes the human race.
They fall like dominoes.
That's right. And so evil cannot. Human beings are different from evil. They are. How can I say it? When a human being sins, he sins because of compulsion. And either he likes what he is for a while, or never likes it, but doesn't know, is confused by it and tries to go along to get along, but he can't do it for some reason. There's something higher calling him, but never mind, it'll take a while for him to trials and tribulations. Sooner or later, the suffering encourages him, makes him hunger and thirst for the righteous. There's something.
That's what happened with me. That's exactly. It took a long time, but it did happen. That's why I was I didn't know how to put it into words. And
I know.
you put it in a very good context there, and it just explains the threshold of crossing the barrier between good and evil is when you're fed up with the other life, and then.
But understand it. Yeah, that's right. But we must be very careful for me to note that the human beings are born without choice. The choice, they inherit the choice, which is they're saddled with it. That they are born into a world that has been corrupted, the mothers and fathers of which have been corrupted and don't know they're corrupted. And then they put their will on their children and bring them up as a cannibal or a Muslim, a Jew, or a Christian.
Right.
Or a Nazi. And once that's established, that overrides any intuition. And some people like it that way. They find power in that. But you have to destroy another person in order to feed that power. Follow that?
Yeah, because they enjoy the power because the weakness and the.
But let's not go into it. No. Let's not go into it. Let me talk, and let me talk a little bit, and then chime in rather than just to support an idea, but to see something just a bit new. I'm looking for you to see something new. So let me say this again: we're born without choice.
Okay.
We're born subject to the choice of the culture, the influence of the culture.
Right.
And it's very, very powerful. And if you're born in Borneo, you'll be a cannibal. If you're born in Germany under Hitler, or in Iraq or Iran, well, there's more freedom, more Western freedom there. It has a different history. But never mind, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. So how?
But in America, we're all sinners. Basically, no matter how, even if you go into church, you are being taught how to think.
Yes.
There's intuition. Yeah. And so, therefore, you cannot obey God perfectly because you are jumping through the hoop of the preacher. See that?
That's right.
Okay, now you can't help that. And it takes a long while to get married, and you try to be the best father you can, but you're too mechanical. And your children sees your hypocrisy, but you don't. And therefore, the child is influenced again. See that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, even when it's good, it's not
even
good.
That's right. Even when it's good, and you still can't see it. And then it's this long-term suffering that you go through, and then you don't realize you're suffering sometimes.
No, you don't. The feeling for good people who are, say, good Christians, they don't feel right about being right.
Yeah.
They don't feel right about being right. So they try hard to be righter, and it makes it worse.
They have conflict in there.
Conflict in their righteousness. That's what's wrong with Glenn Beck. He wants to be loved.
Oh, he's been searching for the love he never had from his father.
From the people. From people. And he has to put on a bigger performance and say more exciting things, more interesting things, more truth. He's running out of it.
So like Michael Jackson, when he was searching for love.
Exactly.
Looking on stage.
So,
people...
but the point is, he's looking and he has to perform. He has to perform. See, he used to be an alcoholic. He gave up being an alcoholic because he's a good person. But the trouble is, he's a convict. But he found a new way. He's got this skill, this gift of the gab. It's very good, and he's very knowledgeable. He's a wonderful speaker. But the trouble is, he's doing it. He's soaking up the love, and the more he loves, the further he gets away from God, and the more he's into the people. And the more people love him, the more he has to perform more, and he has to perform more. And after a while, can't anymore. His voice becomes paralyzed. That's
so he developed his own culture and his own world.
Exactly right. And now he's stuck, and I can help him. I can help. And but if he has an operation, that's the worst thing he can do because it's a spiritual problem. But let me just continue. Let me continue with my thoughts.
Go ahead.
I just thought because he's a good metaphor for what I'm saying. Don't feel right about being right.
Right.
Okay, but there's no way out of that unless you know what salvation is, you see. Now, so the bottom line then, let me go to the bottom line. What is salvation? It's because you're full of rot and mess and rubbish and confusion, right?
Right.
At some point. That's the dissatisfaction that makes you cry out. And if you're crying in a certain way that pleases God, bingo, something happens. You become reborn, meaning all of a sudden your mind is taken over.
And it's impossible to go back to do the things you.
Then it's impossible to do wrong. But now here is the important one. Here's the $24,000 answer. You can no more do wrong when you have grace, even if it kills you, than you could do right when you didn't.
And you don't know you have this grace, and when it comes up for a test, you don't know it's.
You don't even know. In my situation, I don't know that I'm being tested. It doesn't feel like I'm being tested anymore. It used to be a little bit of a rub, but now I know I'm sticking out, and I've got crosshairs on me from the president because he's a communist, and I don't mind. I'm the only one that says it. And of course, because Americans are such cowards, they won't ever call it what it is. He's a communist. You need to call him a communist and get it over with and throw him out.
Yeah.
And you can't be Mr. Nice Guy.
That's right.
All the conservatives want to be nice. They want to show what they're nice. They're more polite and all the rest of it. They got to see it. And when they see it, they need to get rid of all of them. Because as long as they won't give it a name, if you don't call a thief, then you can't prosecute him.
Right.
And so President Obama, he doesn't like to call terrorists because that way he doesn't have to see them that way. He doesn't want you to see them that way because he's their friend.
Huh.
See that?
And so he's trying to force the friendship upon us.
Yes.
In order to take it to the level where. Don't call names.
But he is a nice, likable person, and he uses his liking for you to like him, and when you like him, he likes you, and he rewards you for liking him. And most people he will reward for liking him and give them position in government and give them welfare and special privileges.
Yeah.
And give your money to them. He's flamboyant. He's a deceiver, but he doesn't understand it. I'm sure he doesn't know what he's doing. He's not truly a dictator, like Saddam Hussein or Hitler. He is programmed since he was a little child. He could wake up in an office. It's possible.
It's possible, yeah.
Yeah. Some people, go to sleep in office and become what you least expect. You see the difference between Reagan and this one.
Yeah.
One is a born again man, and he is, from the dark side, isn't he? He was only. And we can't criticize. You know why we can't criticize him? Because he's black. Ahead of time, he brought shame on Black America.
Oh boy, yeah. Well,
but anyway, you see. But the point is, it's all tied into what I'm saying. We are conditioned. We are politically correct, which means we can't speak truthfully. We dare not speak truthfully because it's unpopular and even dangerous at this point.
Boy, is it ever! Yeah. You can't say.
Yes, you can, but you see, you haven't got the courage. You haven't got faith. See, faith. You've got nothing to lose. I mean, cannot lose for speaking up, even if they kill you. You haven't lost anything because the purpose of life is to stand your ground.
Okay.
And never mind the flesh.
Yeah.
But the dark side of a person is flesh. It's all about flesh and blood and existence and creating an empire. and living through your children, just like God does, or should, we do with our kids. Either for better or for worse, but better and worse are the same.
Unbelievable.
See that?
Jeez, it's I see it very clear what you're saying. I see it very clear. It's very sick thing that's going on. It's so bad.
Oh no, America's done unless we. But now the thing is, the average person listening to us now is offended, but they haven't got the courage to call me. They haven't got the argument to call me. They haven't got the counter argument. They just, in their mind, the mind tells them this man's a deceiver.
I don't see how anybody could stop or hang up in the middle of waiting to talk to you.
But there is nobody waiting. There is nobody waiting to talk to me. Only you.
But I don't see how any. For example, if somebody was waiting and then they hang up, it's something that's inside them, inside their mind, telling them.
You're right. The average person is not understanding a word I'm saying.
Yeah, they blow it off and think.
No, they don't. No, they are preconditioned. Every person who is into sin, and sin is into them, whatever that is, living in a hypnotic state. Sin is hypnotic.
I'll tell you the one.
No, let me finish it.
Okay, go ahead.
Sin is hypnotic, and when a person is violated or corrupted, he will defend. He or she will defend what got inside them.
That's right.
And so, therefore, then an alliance awakens for the corrupter. So, therefore, the people that hurt you the most, when you look for love, you'll always be looking for the person that hurt you unconsciously to love you.
You go back to the scene of the crime to
just
want your drug.
Yeah, that's right, just like the drug addict with the pusher. So is man with woman. So a man, as I started at the beginning of the program, just like a drug addict goes back to the pusher for fulfillment, the fulfillment is a rejection of God and a fake salvation, a relief of conscience, which is equivalent to dark salvation and death.
Oh, boy.
See that?
Right.
But so is the woman in the relationship with man. When man born of woman, he's subject to the woman who in the beginning made Adam subject to her when she was subject to the dark side. So we inherit that system, and it comes through the ladies unconsciously. So when man born of woman, you see how I say this? How else can he? But he cannot help but be born of woman physically, but also by her very presence, ego comes with it. And that ego owns its loyalty looks for the woman for approval. And that is lost, that is I'm looking for the word, the hunger for the woman's love is involved with reproduction. But the sin or the curse is entangled with that, as is food, as is also food. And so when a man goes back to a woman, he doesn't go back to love her in God's way. There is no God. He loves her as an ego person as an addict loves the pusher. He's born of a woman. He goes back to the woman for reassurance because the ego of I'm trying to find the one word, the legacy, being born of a woman. How else can you be born? But with it comes the corrupted, the hunger for the reassurance from a woman.
That's right.
See that?
That's right.
The ego that comes through her, as well as the body, cries out for the spirit to reassure him, because men are all insecure that way. And therefore women are the focus of everything in this world to the exclusion of God. Got to go now.
Hi, this is David Masters with a special urgent message. If you're someone who is suffering with a difficult illness, or if you're in a relationship that really needs help, it's time to make reservations for Roy Masters' 4th of July seminar at Tall Timber Ranch in beautiful Oregon. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS, and make your reservations while there's still time. There's not a lot of room at Tall Timber Ranch, so if you want to have your life move in the direction it's meant to go, this is a time to make the change. This could be Roy Masters' last seminar. We hope not, but you will have time to spend with him understanding and becoming free from the problems that have plagued you so long. It's the 4th of July seminar at Tall Timber Ranch with Roy Masters. Call 855-CURE-STRESS to make your reservations. Call Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Pacific Time. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. This could be Roy Masters' last seminar. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. Do you have stress? Well, here's some facts you should know. Stress has been linked to all the leading causes of death, such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, accidents, and suicide. Almost 90% of all visits to primary health care providers are due to stress-related problems. Are you ready to be free from stress? Call 855-CURE-STRESS or visit CureStressDevice.com.
It's one of those things that's helped me so much. I mean, I started as I was 31 years old, and I'm 69 now. And I've gone through so many trials and tribulations, on the verge of losing your soul to the many things that happened. And then yet, has always been there to clarify things. And sometimes I'll be listening, but Jim just shines through, and it really clarifies things.
It's time to be free from the terrible effects of stress. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS. Or go to CureStressDevice.com and order the Cure Stress device. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. Or visit CureStressDevice.com. Hi, this is David Masters with a special urgent message. If you're someone who is suffering with a difficult illness, or if you're in a relationship that really needs help, it's time to make reservations for Roy Masters' 4th of July seminar at Tall Timber Ranch in beautiful Oregon. Call 855-CURE-STRESS. That's 855-CURE-STRESS, and make your reservations while there's still time. There's not a lot of room at Tall Timber Ranch.